Hi, everybody. This is Mark Pescatore, Content Director for Systems Contractor News. Hey, tis the season for InfoComm, that is. And one of the big people exhibiting at InfoComm is Exertis Almo. So we are talking with Dan Smith, the COO of Exertis Almo. Now, Dan, you came on board in January of 2023. How's it going so
Yep.
far?
It's been fantastic. Exertis Almo was a customer of mine for about 20 years, 13 years, depending on which group you're talking about. So I had a long lived experience with them, and it was all very positive, and that led to part of the decision-making process to come on board here.
Now, I'm really sick of writing stories about supply chain issues. Is it okay? Can I stop now? Are we over that?
I think you're safe to say supply chain issues are mostly resolved. The only thing that's probably left is shipments inside the US just aren't that reliable, right? There's so much subcontracting going on within the US that a lot of times our shipments that we have planned and did schedule to arrive at a certain date do not. That's the only problem we're having right now.
All right, fair enough. Now you've been in this industry for more than 30 years. How is the distribution side unique?
Well, I did the distribution side in the past. I was also an integrator in the past. As an integrator, you get to work directly with the end user, so that's a unique experience. As a distributor, you sit between the manufacturer and the integrator, so you get to see all the manufacturers, all the technologies, all the products. You get to see what all the integrators are doing, so you get this really good breadth of exposure about what's happening in the industry. Then also having worked for a couple large manufacturers, you get a chance to see what they have to go through to develop products, get them to market, supply chain, marketing, route to market, go to market, all that stuff. So it's kind of fun sitting also in the middle because, like I said at the beginning, you get to see everything that's going on from beginning to end.
Now, as you know, InfoComm is coming up. This one is in Las Vegas, so we're talking dry heat as opposed to Orlando, which is moist heat. What can we expect from Exertis Almo this year at InfoComm?
Well, what we try to do is bring a breadth of technologies and a breadth of vendors to really talk about what's new in technology because almost every manufacturer has these incredible new technologies every year, almost every quarter at this point. So, our goal is to try to help educate people about what the latest is in technology, but also in services. Services are becoming a larger and larger piece of what we do, and a larger and larger piece of what our integrators do. So, we talk about technology, we'll talk about manufacturers, we'll talk about applications, we'll talk about services, but really it's taking a look at that whole go to market. And we try to think of ourselves more as a market enablement company than just a distributor, because a distributor pick, packs, and ships. And yes, we do that, but that's probably only 10% of our focus.
You mentioned services. I'd like to follow up on that for a second. Tell me a little bit about managed services and what Exertis Almo can do for its customers.
I appreciate the question. I will tell you, this industry has changed so much in 5 years. 2019 pre-COVID, I would have told you that all the integrators want the service person to walk in with their polo shirt on, right? I'm the integrator, I'm going to take care of you. But there's been three major things that have changed that have really driven a model to where they're coming to us to help them support services. Number one, there's not enough labor. So they're trying to find people. They can't always have people available to take care of their customers. Number two, geographic distribution. So maybe you're in the northwest corner, you need a service in the southeast for one of your national accounts, right? It just is not efficient for you to be able to fly or service remotely like that. So geographic distribution is the second factor. The third is technology specialization. We talked earlier about all the technologies we're going to show at InfoComm. I will tell you, if you just took interactive digital boards and the complexity of the market now, with all the different brands, all the different software, all the different tools, you really have to have a sales engineer that specializes just in interactive. And then we can take and repeat that story also for LED, because there's so many LED
Oh,
products out
yeah.
there, so many applications out there, so many families out there. Then you can take and repeat that also for collaboration. There's so many different platforms, there's so many different products, there's so many different microphones, there's so many different speakers. So really the technology complexity has driven that third factor for why the integrators need us to help them with support with service. I would say 5 years ago, generally you have a AV engineer and they took care of everything. But that's just not the case anymore because there's so much technology out there. It's so deep, it's so complex. So, between labor shortages, geographic distribution of the end users, and technology complexity, there's been a very high demand. As a matter of fact, we set a goal for last year and we doubled that. We
Wow.
were almost exactly double what we expected for services. And just to make sure I make it clear, we never talk directly to the end user. We never bill the end user. This is all us being the subcontractor for our customers, the integrators.
It's just amazing to me. You're talking about 5 years ago. 10 years ago, you and I go back long enough to remember 10 years ago, the idea of partnering with another company would have been crazy. And now
Yeah,
it's just how the way of the world.
absolutely.
All right, now let's jump ahead to something else at InfoComm, and that is charitable efforts. Exertis Almo is famous for its charitable efforts at InfoComm and another in E4. I participated in one with you guys. What's on the schedule this year?
Well, there is a spirit within Exertis Alma that drew me to becoming part of this company. And I can tell you, if you'd ever seen the employee survey results here at this company, it's the highest I've ever seen. The
Wow.
people take care of each other, they take care of the customers, they take care of charities. It is a giving culture from inside to outside. So we are going to participate in SAV, which is the industry that is the sustainable in AV. So we're participating in SAVE, sorry, and then we're also going to participate in Swim with Purpose. Swim with Purpose is a charitable organization that was started by Sam Taylor, which was the founder of this business. And he continues to work on that today in his retirement. So we continue to support him as well.
That is great to hear. Now, what is that I hear about immersive demos at the show?
Well, I guess maybe there's two different ways to answer that question. Number one, the AR, VR headsets. That business for us is starting to explode. It was a technology looking for an application, and now the applications are starting to explode. The other thing is, we'll probably be, as we do at a lot of our shows, we'll be live streaming a drone that's being flown somewhere else to show how drone applications work and how they support different applications for maybe first responders, firefighters, search and rescue, so it gives you a feel for how it would actually work in the real world.
Oh, that sounds really, really cool. Dan, I want to thank you for taking the time with us. Remember, everybody, the InfoComm show floor is open June 12th through the 14th at the Las Vegas Convention Center. Make sure you make time to stop by and see Exertis Almo in booth W1912 in the West Hall. And of course, you can find out more about Exertis Almo at any time. Just visit exertisalmo.com. Thanks for watching.